outstanding. He's pretty well-rounded, but he prefers to keep things on the feet.
Making his way to the blue corner, Ryan Ibsen.
All right, so here comes Ryan, and Zach, as you mentioned, 8th fight, 2 years, so he has been very, very active. This is a guy that likes to get in there. He's trying to work his sport, work his craft, learn this craft of MMA. And what he's looking for right now, like many of the fighters tonight, he said he really wants to end quick.
Yes.
He'd love to get in there.
It's always a fighter's dream. You know, it's sometimes you have to find the balance in that, because there's the extreme of going hard as you can right away and then getting gas out, but also there's the beauty and wonderful thing. One of the coaches that I have always tells me, finish early and come home.
There you go.
You know, it's a wonderful, wonderful feeling just to get done, but also you have to be ready to go the distance, even with that mindset of finishing fast.
Yep, that's exactly it. So you don't want to blow your wad right at the beginning and run out of energy, because the cage is a rough place to be tired.
It is.
I'll tell you, you see these poor guys that have gone that route, it's rough. But Ryan looks like he's ready, looks to be in great shape there. You can see he's long and lean.
Absolutely. So going to be looking for him to use his reach, use his kicks, and really bring this fight home.
Yeah, that's why he prefers that stand-up. You can see why. He'd want to keep a guy out on the end of his punches and his kicks.
Making his way to the red corner, Andrew Huckeby.
Huckeby is definitely a fan favorite here in Butte. Got a lot of supporters, a lot of fans, a lot of family. We're pretty close to his family. We know them pretty well.
Yep.
A wonderful, very, very loving family, very supportive of what Andrew does. Again, he is a very, very tough young man. He's got a bright future ahead of him.
Yep, and he's getting flat out seasoned here in MMA. He's been around now for a few years. He gets in and he fights, as you mentioned, Zach. He will press the action, and what we learned in the last bout that we saw him in is he also takes instruction very well. When he came in with a game plan, you see him last minute well wishes from his teammates there. He's well coached, and when the teammates, his coaches, come up with a game plan, Andrew will follow that game plan to a T. You see John Atman there, one of his coaches, great guy. He will come out with a solid game plan for you. And if you listen to him, you're going to do well. That's what Andrew does. He has his game plan. He sticks with it. Now, Andrew had a little bit more of a weight cut here. He was walking around about 165 here not too long ago. And you can see he works out. He packs a lot of muscle. So he is going to be a strong fighter in there.
Absolutely.
And as opposed to Ryan, that long, slender look, you have Andrew is more compact, he's thicker, he's stronger, so it's going to be an interesting matchup. Absolutely.
One of the things that you said, Jeff, about Andrew is, even though he's very young, he is very seasoned. And the last couple of fights that I've seen from him, he has had battles, absolute battles, where it has just been a grind for him. But he pulls out on top and doesn't lose heart and listens to his coaches.
Number 3 tonight is a mixed martial arts bout scheduled for 3 4-minute rounds and sponsored by Silver Road Surgical Associates. Fighting out of the blue corner, this man entered the cage at 6 feet 4 inches tall, weighing at 145 pounds. Fighting out of Evolution Fight Team in Great Falls, Montana, Skinny Ryan Ibsen.
Yeah, 6'4", Jeff.
Fighting out of the red corner, this man entered the cage at 5 feet 10 inches tall, weighing at 145 pounds. Fighting out of the streets of Butte in Butte, Montana,
Now, Zach, it was kind of interesting. We knew that Ryan was tall, but 6'4" and 145 pounds, that is one tall fighter. And you can see Andrew is much more compact. He's thick, carries a lot more muscle. So this is going to be interesting, folks. This is really going to be interesting. We'll see how this
we're going to
goes.
look for and probably see Ryan is probably going to try and keep the distance, use his legs, and then Andrew is going to have to get in tight, close the distance, use his tight, compact muscles, his body type, to take advantage of this.
Yeah, so we wouldn't be surprised to see
So
this one head to the ground. Yep, and a lot of good sportsmanship there between the two. It's interesting, this fighting game, you know, these guys will get in there and they will throw some heavy gloves. A lot of respect shown in our sport here. So you're not out there to hurt somebody, you're out there to win.
Absolutely. Ryan's doing a good job of keeping his jab out there. Both men are returning roundhouse kicks back and forth.
Yep,
here.
looking good here. Both of them looking good. Trading some punches. Good a feeling out. Now Andrew was throwing some heat there with the right hand.
Oh, boy, good combination there by Andrew.
Andrew's showing some good combos with the kicks followed by a punch. And Ryan has shown some great kicks, and he's pressing forward there. Some decent combination. Good left, right.
Andrew's taking an advantage. Oh, look at that.
Now this is that's surprising here.
Closing the distance.
To see Ryan come in.
I was going to say, Andrew was doing a great job of taking advantage of every time Ryan would kick. Andrew would come in with that right hand, and he found a home a couple times. And here we are on the ground. Andrew is on top. It almost looked like Ryan kind of pulled guard.
Yeah, he sort of fell back, so they fall into guard now with Andrew on top, his head down. Right now, Ryan has an open guard, so we're waiting to see how active he's going to be in this guard.
Yeah, and Andrew takes right advantage of that, right to half guard, keeping control, starting to rain down.
There he goes now. He's trying to throw down with the right hand. Looks great. There we go. Now we see.
So one of the things that Ryan's starting to do there, you see he's trying to hip out. He needs to make a little bit of room there. One thing that he could do is put his right hand on Andrew's hip, but Andrew's doing a good job of keeping that arm away. Moving into half guard, into side control now. Looks like he's in a crucifix position here.
Yeah, he's got his
ground and pound.
Yeah, he's got Ryan's left arm tied up with his legs. He's got his right arm with that. Now he's switched to an overhook.
Yep, and see that Andrew has figures four with his legs around Ryan's left arm, and Andrew has his left arm around Ryan's right arm, keeping his head down, pinning Ryan to the ground there.
It's known as a crucifix position here, and it's very uncomfortable.
Yeah, it's a very miserable place to be. It's very hard to get out of. Ryan could keep moving like he is, continue to move around, and score. He has to make space.
And I saw him a minute ago throwing some knees from the bottom. So this guy is a fighter. Again, he's not going to give up, even though he's on the bottom. He's moving his hips. He's trying to change positions. And as you said, he really needs to get some space going here. And even though it looks like he's trying to capture Andrew's legs with his legs,
yeah,
so he's got a
little bit of a half guard here. Oh, there we go. Now it looks like Andrew's moving right
into full mount. So now when you're in full mount, folks, what you want to do is you got to get your opponent's hips on your hips, and you got to get out of there. You see, Ryan was trying to trap one of Andrew's arms, but Andrew has postured up nicely.
Really starting to rain
he is raining down some punches here, lefts and rights.
One of the things that Ryan has to be careful of is not to reach up toward Andrew. That's a good opportunity to hit an armbar. But I don't think Andrew's too worried about the armbar. He's going to try and finish it here.
He's looking to finish.
Oh,
there
look
we
at that
go.
reroll
Ryan was able to get a trap.
He's got to watch out for a triangle or an armbar right now. Andrew's starting to set up for what looks like a triangle with that kind of rubber guard on his left there. 10 seconds left. Let's see what Andrew tries to pull off here. A great reroll by Ryan.
That was a nice transition by Ryan, and you'll see that Andrew stayed calm, stayed savvy, and started looking to fight off his back. So that shows great training. He's been training. We've seen him evolve in his last fights.
A well-seasoned fighter.
Yep.
Yeah, it was hard to tell there. I don't really know if Andrew just started to push forward and Ryan just rolled with it. It's kind of hard to see, but either way, once they were here, Ryan didn't quite close his guard at all during this position, even though he was kind of controlling his head, and that's when Andrew really took advantage of that with his right elbow and passed. And here we go to mount when Andrew was on top. Andrew did a great job of not going too hard.
No, he
not
stayed,
blowing everything he had out on this moment. But again, he was throwing hard.
He kept his balance, which is very important, and you'll see Ryan there defending off the bottom. That's why they didn't stop the fight. Even though it looks like he's in a tough spot, he was still intelligently defending himself and was even fighting off the bottom. You'll see him, he's with those long arms. He's on bottom, and he actually threw a right hand that connected.
And again, you have to be careful in that mode. If you're against a good jiu-jitsu practitioner, they're going to look for those arms to raise up. And it's like Flavio Baranoy says, is look what your friend is giving you. So if you're reaching out from the bottom, you have to be careful. But it obviously worked for Ryan. He got on top and ended the round in a pretty good position.
Not bad position there. So
definitely
they
a
both
good time to
look like
come in with momentum.
They look like they're ready to go. In good shape. They're starting out this round the same as the first round. Ryan throwing some kicks. Andrew pressing forward. This time he's mostly just throwing the punches. But
Ryan did a great job of diving
Ryan
underneath
took his
that
back.
back fist. Oh, looks like he's going for the back. Watch Andrew to walk off that fence with his feet. He said he turns back into him into side control now.
Which is a nice transition by Andrew there, because Ryan had his back, but he wasn't able to get any hooks in to be able to control Andrew's hips or his body, and Andrew was able to turn back in. So he's trying to solidify his side control position against the cage here. So now, Zach, what would you do now? You're in this position here. What do you do? You're pressed against the cage. You're on the bottom. One arm's trapped.
Yeah, as Ryan, it's kind of an interesting position because Andrew's kind of in an awkward spot against the fence, and so is Ryan. What I would do as Ryan, and see how he has that right underhook, is bridge and buck and try to come out what we would call the back door. Yep. So Ryan would come toward us at the screen here and bridge away. Now, Andrew's starting to grab Ryan's left hand. Oh, looks like Dave's going to stand him up there.
He was isolating that arm. He was trying to isolate that arm.
Not enough action. He would have been going for an Americana there.
Yep. Really tough against the cage here to get a lot going, either the top or bottom.
Yeah, absolutely.
So now we're back out on the feet. Both.
Nice kick by Ryan. Yeah, Ryan's doing a pretty good job with his combos. I think he's having a little bit of a hard time landing as well as he would want to because Andrew's pushing the pace
Andrew's
really well.
Pushing forward, and Andrew's not afraid to take one. He does a good job keeping his hands up. So he will press forward using his hands. He's let off on his kicks a little bit this round, Zach. I noticed, compared to the first round, he's mostly staying with the boxing on his feet. Ryan's mixing it out. Both men have slowed down a little bit from that first round.
Just a hair. Not too bad though, but definitely
they're both well trained.
You can tell they're pushing hard. These guys are doing a great job. Andrew landed some good uppercuts.
Yep. Now
he's got his
takes the back again. No hooks in,
and instantly Ryan kind of sits down. One of the things that he could have done there, rather than give Andrew this position, is push his hips forward rather than backwards. And here we see Andrew's back in mount.
And in danger of sliding out
this
left.
This is going to be a little bit dangerous for
forward.
Ryan.
Yeah, Ryan's got to be able to buck him off or get control of those hands. He's trying. Andrew very heavy on his chest. And once again, he rolled him again. He trapped an arm, bucked his hips, and rolled. That's just about all you can get from that bottom position.
And he timed it well. Here we see Andrew kind of going for a scissor sweep, it looks like.
So he's got that as he puts his leg across.
He needs to drop that right leg a little lower. See how Ryan did a good job of countering it. Back here, looks like Ryan's standing back up. So good decision on his part, I think.
Got out of there. Andrew was really starting to fight off his back.
He was. Now we see Ryan has been trying to land that left leg kick to the head. And I think one thing that he could do to help that is set it up with his hands a little bit better than he was before, because it's landed a couple of times pretty well, Jeff.
Yep. Both fighters look now like they're both a little bit winded here.
We got about 30 seconds left, and this round's pretty tight.
Oh boy!
That takedown was.
So Ryan just went for a standing guillotine, but at this point in the fight, guys are a lot more slippery. They're sweating out there, folks. And
so, look at that, going for a omoplata, sorry. Kind of might be able to turn this into a sweep, but Andrew does a good job of throwing his right leg over Ryan to counter that.
And even though it looks like just a couple of guys tied in a knot, there's some fairly high-level jiu-jitsu going on here. You'll
There
see
is,
one
definitely.
guy trying to use his jiu-jitsu to get an advantage, the other one countering, then beginning to attack from there.
And that was really nice here by Ryan. He recognized the spinning back fist, ducked and was
under.
able to get this beautiful
Takedown there as he came from the back. But you'll notice here he has no hooks in. He needs to get, you see Andrew put his leg up to defend against that hook, then he wall walks against the cage and was able to spin in.
Here's another look at that. Beautiful timing by Ryan.
It really was. These guys are, again, well trained.
Yeah, you could
about
definitely
number
tell.
3, and we are seeing some
We are seeing some
really
good
skilled
things.
fighters. Really skilled fighters.
See, it's
here.
hard being where they are in Ryan's position because it's tough knowing what to do right there for control-wise. But he did a pretty good job. Andrew was able to reverse and get side control.
Get on top.
Yeah.
Once he was on top, though, Andrew being pressed against the cage really couldn't mount any
Yeah, it was
offense.
an
That's why
interesting
referee
position.
Dave Evans stood him up.
Yeah, and he did a great job. That was a pretty good stand-up. It did look like Andrew could have been working for that Americana, but there really wasn't too much
Not enough action.
there.
Going too slow again.
So we have a pretty close fight here.
Yeah, we got a good fight going on here. We'll see now in round number 3 how has their training been.
Yeah, this
You
is
know-
where
you know-
where you ask the question, who wants it more?
Yes,
Because I could really see this going either way. Beautiful leg kick.
Nice
Beautiful leg
combination
kick
there by Ryan.
Yeah, he's really
He's
trying to
going
do
high.
those.
Now
Andrew
we see
recognizes it, going for a single leg here.
Andrew taking a single, but
Oh,
his
look at
neck
here.
was
Ryan
exposed, so
extends his hip and is going for that guillotine. It looks like Andrew's head is kind of out of there
There
a
he
little
goes.
bit.
He
Yep.
pulled it back out. Just sometimes when
Ooh,
you
knee
get
that,
that,
like it might have been
it's
like a
a turtle.
but it doesn't look like it. It looked kind of maybe Andrew drops for that takedown right as that was happening. Drops for it here.
Drops his
Oh,
hips
good
and is
sprawl
pressing
by Ryan.
forward. Ryan sprawling. There's some good wrestling there, and the difference between wrestling and jiu-jitsu, boy, you cannot leave your neck out there. And you can see Andrew's aware of that.
Yep.
Ryan's looking for that front guillotine. Andrew's aware of it. Pulls his head back.
Ryan's
And
doing a pretty good job of controlling the clinch here and delivering some knees, kind of
when those
grinding
knees
it out.
are- oh, that was
wonderful
a
head kick
nice
there.
right kick from very close.
And that doesn't seem to shake Andrew too hard. He just
Andrew
comes stepping
presses
right
forward.
back in.
Andrew presses forward again.
They trade jabs there. Ryan initiating the clinch again.
And Andrew gets a nice back trip takedown.
Notice how Ryan's trying to keep his left hand on his hip. What he needs to do, what would help, is to keep it straight, kind of like a zombie arm, so to speak.
Absolutely.
And so Andrew's going to try and get around to side control here. Ryan's going to do a good job.
Seconds left. Looks like Ryan's gonna. He's got an open half guard
Yeah.
here. So it's wide open.
Almost has full guard here.
He's coming up to his side. Andrew's pressing in. And not a lot of action going on here. A little bit of trading some punches on the inside. Ryan's trying to get control of Andrew's right arm. Now Andrew's got into a little better position, a crossbody position there. He's laying heavy.
Looks like he's trying to sneak that knee out now.
If he can sneak
Oh,
that
trying to
knee
wall walk.
through-
Ryan's trying to wall walk. If he keeps walking, he could easily end up back on top. But I think Andrew's recognizing it here.
Yeah, stopped him
Oh,
halfway
look at
through.
that. Maybe a triangle potentially here.
Andrew recognizes
Armbar.
that. Now we've got a potential armbar. Andrew's recognizing that. He's going to try and roll through. You see him
well.
keeping his elbow bent.
Ryan
And he's
kind of
wrapped around
abandons that
Ryan's
there.
leg. So again, even though these guys just look like they're tangled into a pretzel, there's a lot of
Ryan's ended up with
jiu-jitsu.
Andrew's back now. Andrew's grabbing the fence to get up there. Good job by Dave recognizing it. All right, so here we see Ryan having the pressure now. Looks like he really wants his back. Andrew recognizes it.
Again, going
goes
for
back
a
to the
double
shot.
leg now. He's really going to try and press forward. And Ryan is looking for that neck non-stop. Non-stop,
He's
but
doing a
Andrew's
great
tough.
thing. One of the things like that the Diaz brothers do is constantly are hitting.
Absolutely,
Ryan
non-stop.
resembles that pretty well with just even little knees, all those things, and even Andrew when he's on top, in between transitions and kind of catching your breath, delivering those.
They're still punching. They're still punching from every angle, on top, on bottom. Now they're kind of tangled against the cage. Ryan has an overhook and pressing Andrew into the cage, and I suspect if something doesn't happen here pretty quick, Dave's gonna break him up and start him in the center here.
I think Andrew's really wanting to look for that takedown, Jeff.
He'd love to get him down to the ground.
I think that would really help solidify this one way or another because it's been very close. Ryan's got to be careful now to see how You can see
He's sneaking in for
Andrew's
that
got
back
that. Yep, right here.
There it is. There's that back trip. Andrew's been practicing that, and he's very good at it. It's the second one he's got here. So he falls right into side control.
But again,
and
Ryan's
he
right in
is
on
hanging
forward.
on. He looks like he's pretty spent. Andrew's left it all in the cage here, and he's ending the round on top. I think that's going to look good for him in the
I think
judges'
that is.
eyes.
And that's always a great, regardless of what happened in the round, it's a great way to end on top.
You always want to end on top. You just don't want to end on the bottom. So
Here's
looking
some of
at
the,
action.
pressure here, Ryan. Keeping Andrew against the fence. He did a pretty good job of controlling him, Jeff. Throwing some knee strikes from here.
Boy, those knee strikes look
they were
like
good.
they flat hurt. He
They
is
did.
good. Now here,
Here, look at that head kick.
Look at the
Oh,
head kick from
wow.
that close is amazing.
Yeah,
he
it
was
was
able to get
wonderful.
that much steam, then followed up with a left roundhouse kick that just missed.
Yeah, and I think one of the things that could have helped Ryan with those head kicks a little bit is using his hands a little bit more to set up those kicks. But what a great job all the way around. And Andrew was relentless in his pressure through it all. There's another angle at that
And
kick.
very savvy near the end of the third round, or kind of in the middle of the third round there, where Ryan was going for a lot of different holds, really jiu-jitsu finishes he was trying to set up, and Andrew would recognize it, counter, recognize it, counter, and that just shows that you are very teachable,
Yes.
you've had good coaching, and you learn.
And that's one of the things that separates the good fighters from the great fighters.
Absolutely.
Is being teachable, is being humble, being able to accept positive criticism and listen to your coaches, because after all, they're the only reason you're there in the first place.
Absolutely.
So let's see.
A great fight.
Yeah, wonderful.
For the fight the same to your winner by unanimous decision. In the red corner,
Well, there's a victory for Andrew Huckeby.
He pulled it off, was relentless.
So I think that was a good decision.